Welcome back to the Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jimmy Martin with Slug Magazine.
And I'm Jeff Weiss with MSN Entertainment.
Now we're going to wrap this episode up with talking about the comic book movie of the summer, Captain America, the First Avenger. Now this is the latest in the Marvel series of feature films. It's basically, it's a period piece, set in World War II, directed by Joe Johnston. If you don't know Joe Johnston, he's directed many films, but anything that relates kind of to this one, it's going to be The Rocketeer.
Absolutely.
So it's got the same kind of feel, same kind of tone. But the story behind it is Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, starts out as I want to say he's a weakling, you know, but a patriotic weakling.
He's a 98-pound weakling, I think.
That's soaking wet.
Yeah, which is what I think the term was back in those days.
Oh yeah, for sure. He is the scrawniest, probably the most just ill. You know, he's got every condition you can imagine, but he wants to go across the seas and fight Nazis. Problem is, Army won't let him do it. So tries after tries, you know, false names, fake identifications, you know, he does anything and everything he can because he's that patriotic that he wants to kill some Nazis. So a scientist finds out that he's so patriotic that he goes, I'll give you one chance. Played by the incredible Stanley Tucci. Gives him a serum, and he beefs up and is about to explode with muscles like no one would ever believe.
Yes.
I mean, you know,
Roger Clemens is envious.
Yeah, him and Barry Bonds.
Yes.
Why me? Because the weak man knows the value of strength, knows the value of power.
That wasn't so bad.
That was penicillin.
We are going to win this war because we have the best men.
Now, Mr. Stark.
And they will personally escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell.
How do you feel?
Taller.
Your task won't be simple.
Who the hell are you? The first of many.
Your enemy is not what you expect.
So he does this, and he becomes the iconic, you know, American hero, leading troops, you know, but he kind of has the fight to get there because he starts out on a little thing, a different path, I would say, than a super soldier.
In a very amusing sequence.
Exactly, and he basically comes head-to-head with another villain played by Hugo Weaving. You might recognize him from The Matrix. The villain is The Matrix, and they kind of go head-to-head. And there's punches and kicks and anything in between.
And a lot of period stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, so what I love about this film is that it feels like you're watching a 1930s movie. Joe Johnston has got that down. You know, other movies he's done, he may not have, you know, nailed it.
No.
This one, he's got something special about it. He just knows how to make a World War II movie.
Absolutely.
And
when Joe Johnston is right on, he is right on.
It's true.
The Rocketeer, October Sky also is a very good period film. And this really, for me, is maybe the most superhero-y superhero movie I've seen.
Definitely.
Since the early Superman movies. It's got that almost feel-good element, that rah-rah, you leave the theater feeling good about yourself and everything.
You kind of want to go sign up to go fight some Nazis.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. Also, I think for me, this might be the start to finish most complete package of a superhero movie I've had. For one of the comic book based movies, at least since Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It has a more satisfying conclusion, say, than the first Iron Man did.
It's got every element. I mean, it's got drama, comedy, action. I mean, like, it's almost like you can't ask for much more.
No.
And what this basically, for me, is setting up, and it does a great job of stuff. Thor, for me, was like a setup for Thor. You know, people didn't know who Thor was.
Right.
Captain America, for me, is a little bit easier to explain.
Absolutely.
But you still want to know the origin story of him.
And they do a terrific job with that. Laying the groundwork for who Steve Rogers is.
Yeah.
They do a very, very good job of that. And it helps that you have supporting cast members like Stanley Tucci, who plays the scientist, and Tommy Lee Jones, who plays a U.S. Army general, also involved in this super soldier program.
But he makes it good because he's the skeptical one.
Yes.
Like he wants nothing to do with him.
He's still skinny.
He's still
You
skinny.
brought a 90-pound asthmatic onto my army base. I let it slide. I thought, what the hell? Maybe it'd be useful to you, like a gerbil. Look at that. He's making me cry. Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
He's a bully.
You don't win wars with niceness, Doctor. You win wars with guts. Grenade!
Get away! Get back!
Dummy grenade.
Is this a test?
He's still skinny.
You know, he's not the American soldier, you know, like that. And they're like, you know, we'll prove you wrong. But you need that side of it, you know.
Absolutely.
And if anybody can do that kind of attitude towards a superhero, it's Tommy Lee Jones. So, I mean, and I also think Hugo Weaving as Red Skull, like, you know, he's just intimidating. And you're just like, you know what? I want you to punch him. Like, hit him as hard as you can.
Oh, please do. Please do. By the way, like some of the other superhero movies, this is littered with what they call Easter eggs.
Yeah.
There's some things that sharp-eyed Marvel fans will notice going on in the background.
Like you.
Yeah, I know. I squealed about
Because
it.
I guarantee you say 3 of them, I ain't gonna know them.
Yeah. I won't say them. I won't spoil them for. But there's fun stuff. And by the way, again, this is one of those films where you need to stay after the credits.
Yep.
Because there's a payoff scene at the end that will make you even more excited for next summer.
But without saying what that is, I kind of have to talk about that a little bit. Because what this film does is sets up the next chapter in the Marvel Universe, which is the Avengers. It's Joss Whedon's Avengers.
Which kicks off summer season next May.
Yeah. But like, I mean, what I love about this though is because now all these films have been set up
So perfectly that
they don't have to explain anything.
they can hit the ground running.
Joss Whedon, who's directing the Avengers, can spend 2 hours of just ass kicking.
So,
You know, and that's all I want.
so what you're saying is this won't be the Green Lantern,
No.
where you
no.
explain his powers repeatedly.
It is absolutely not
Captain
the
America
Green
is
Lantern.
much better than that film, by the way.
No.
And I also think it's much better than Thor, and
Yep.
I actually think it's much better than X-Men First Class.
I think it's up there with X-Men First Class.
For the fun elements and for the fact that it works for me start to finish so completely, I gave it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This film, actually when they announced that Chris Evans was going to do this, because everybody knows him as the Human Torch from Fantastic Four movies, I was a little surprised. But you know what? I think he nailed it. He's kind of like the poster boy of patriotism in this, and he does it well. And he as much as he's modest, he has got good timing with the comedy moments, and when he is throwing them punches, God, I'm believing it. So I give it 3.5 stars. I had a great time with it. And here's to the Avengers when it comes up next year.
Yeah, kudos, Marvel. You did a good job of setting up. And this film is fun. Go see it.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. We're gonna wrap it up. We started out with Friends with Benefits. I gave it 2.5 stars. I actually think I gave it 2. I think I'm a little bit lower than you.
No, I gave it 2 stars too. You know what I think happened, Jimmy, is that film sort of wore down your resistance, so you couldn't remember what you gave it because you couldn't remember the film.
Maybe I gave No Strings Attached 2.5 stars.
I think you did.
And then we reviewed this small independent film called The Trip. I gave it 2.5 stars. That one I did give 2.5
Yeah,
stars
you
too.
thought it was a little repetitive.
Yeah.
I, in fact, enjoyed it and wanted more. Gave it 3.5 stars.
There you have it. And there you go. So that's it. Next week we'll be talking about Cowboys and Aliens. We'll talk about Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
And the change-up,
And the
I
change
think.
up. Ooh, it looks, I don't know. Freaky Friday with dudes. It's gonna be weird.
Freaky Saturday?
Maybe.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.